For example, I'm going to make a line here. In agribusiness, everything is about planning. No matter what you're doing, no matter the crop that you're dealing with, no matter the skill that you are into, you have to plan. In this section here, I'll be doing sweet potatoes, and I have a variety of sweet potatoes, different varieties of sweet potatoes that I'm doing. I may not be in a position to mention their name, but I know them by colors. I have the purple one, I have the yellow sweet potato, I have the orange sweet potato, and I have the common white sweet potato. In short, I have all the sweet potatoes. And because now I bought some few vines, I want to make more of a propagation area here, where I'm going to multiply the sweet potatoes so that I can be in good business in the future. Remember, sweet potatoes is a good business, especially when you are doing it off season, when you're not doing it during the rains. And so you all know that I'm an irrigation guy. I'm always into irrigation. Before I was doing farm irrigation, now at the moment I'm into sprinkler irrigation. So when other parts of the land are getting water, I also want also to get water on the sweet potato section. And I know these are good business, especially now when it comes to these multiple colors. They are very inviting, they are nutritious, they are sweet. So these are business. So away from the business, I want to show you how I've already done the plan, and this is what I'm doing. I'm making the trenches where I'm going to plant my sweet potatoes. One, there is something I want you to note. In a case where you come and plant your sweet potatoes in such a bare land, like in this section here, you come and plant your sweet potatoes here, you will be limiting the roots. Remember, we are focusing on the root, the tubers. You'll be limiting them to be big because this place is somehow hard. Now, for you, because of the business part of it, for you to be in good business, you need to heap your soil. Like in my case, you can see I've already done the first line where I've heaped the soil, and this where I'm coming to plant the sweet potato. I'm going to show you how I'm planting them, but this is just the preparation. I'm doing the trenches, and my trenches, I'm doing them in a spacing of 50 centimeters from one trench to the other. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with 40 centimeters and 50 centimeters. Yes, I'm doing them in 50 centimeters from one trench to the other. You can do a bigger one. You can do a bigger heap than the one that I've done. You don't need to do this small heap. You can do a big heap. You can do a mountain-like, a circular-like heap. I've seen farmers doing a circular-like heap. But what you need to avoid is planting them on a flat land, regardless of how soft your soil is, because you'll be limiting your tubers where they can grow easily. So you'll have less tubers, you'll have short tubers, you'll have thin tubers if you don't do this one. So heap your soil this way. You can do as big a heap as possible. You can do even a wide heap up to this place. So it will depend by you. But in my case, I'm doing the trenches, small heaps, where heaps of soil, the heap of soil, where I'll be planting my cuttings after I complete the job. So this is how I do my heaping of the soil. Those who are asking, or those who may like to know how to do it, this is how I'm doing my heap. Remember, I've done the spacing. This is my measuring stick. This is the 50 centimeters from this line to the other. That the spacing. So this is how I'm doing the soil heaping. You don't need to do this manually. Those who are using the tractors, you can use the tractors to make them. You don't need to do them manually like me. In this section, it's around, it's somehow wet. That's why you see it's not forming as expected. But When heaping, you can heap on both sides or you can make it one-sided. Like I told you, the bigger the heap of soil, the better. And if the digging is done well, that means your tubers will be as big as possible, and they are not going to be very deep when uprooting them. So that's why we make the heap this way. So it's as simple as that. I've whipped on both sides, from this side and on the other side. So make sure you have the best heap of soil. If you can be able to mechanize this, it will be better, and it will be very good if you can be able to mechanize this. As simple as that. Good heaping of soil, good heaps of soil. So we are eliminating just like other procedures or other steps. After preparing, you're going to plant, you do the irrigation, we plant, we do the irrigation again. This sweet potato will be taking advantage of the overhead irrigation from this side and the overhead irrigation from the other side, because I'm also planting spinach on this section, so this area will be well watered. So that's how we do the heaping. We go to this irrigation part, then the planting. So don't leave without seeing now how we are doing the planting. The preparation is over. You can see the beautiful work that I've done in preparing the beds. From the far head to the middle ear, it has not been an easy job. This is work of a tractor, but very soon we are getting there. We are bringing in some few implements to the ones that will be working on this. But anyway, we have to start somewhere. We have to start from what we are in a capacity to do. So we are done with the beds, and sweet potatoes, just like other crops, I don't know whether it's in me or other farmers usually do that. We start with wetting the beds, or we start with watering the beds. And in this section, it has not yet been watered, but watering has been done in this area. As you can see, even the color of the soil, this one looks light, dark. This one looks more darker. It's because I've done a lot of watering in this section, or in preparation for planting my sweet potatoes vines. In that area I'll do a different variety. I have 4 different varieties. I have the purple variety, I have the yellow variety, I have the orange variety, and the common white, or the white variety. That is what I'm planting in the area that I've done. But for this section, I want to dedicate it purely to the purple variety. So when everything is ready, the beds are ready, you've watered them. In sweet potatoes, because they are not highly affected by transplanting shock, you can transplant them in a dry area, then water later. But in my case, you know, I think I have enough water in my farm, so watering is not a challenge to me. That's why you see my beds are wet, and I'll keep on watering them. With me are the vines, the purple vines. This is what I'm starting with. I know majority of you are interested in this. Other than the production of the sweet potatoes, I'll also be propagating these purple vines. So in a month and a half time from now, you can come for vines. You can come for vines. I love plenty of them. Yes. So planting. Remember the reason why we raise the beds, we heaped the beds to the form they are in, is for us to have a room for growth of the sweet potatoes. Though at some point I know the vines are going to grow up to this point, we will be in a position not to control them. They are going to grow very fast and are very vigorous, because also the soil is very nutritive. So the planting is very easy. You can decide to plant this way. Have a look. The first thing I think you need to check is which is the growing part of your vine. You can see this is where the roots are coming through. So you can decide this vine, I'm going to plant it, the whole of it. I'm going to, like for example, I'm going to make a line here and plant the whole of it that way, and just cover it on all sections, cover it that way. You can just do that. That is very okay. All the roots that you've seen, all the roots that you're seeing in, for example, in this vine, can grow or are going to grow. Also, you can cut into small sections and grow and have as many vines as possible. Hope you got me. Now, another mechanism, another method of transplanting is making a hole and placing that vine there. So this is how we do it, and spacing is also very key. I prefer a spacing of around 60 centimeters from one vine to the other, because these vines will be very vigorous from in few weeks time. So this is how I put my vines. This is how I put my vines. The ones with a lot of roots, I can cover them that way. So I put my vines that way. On this side, I plant my vine that way. You see? As simple as that. As simple as that. Let me use this as my looting area. This is how now we transplant the vines. We said a spacing of around 60 centimeters. Let me get more. No rocket science here. No rocket science. You don't need a degree to plant your vines. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Okay. You can also make a hole that way. Not a must to make them the way I'm making them. And place your vine. Place your vine there. There is no problem with that. So we make holes there. Place your vine. Place your vine that way. Very simple, very simple, very simple. One of the simplest job I've ever done is planting sweet potatoes. This one looks too big for me to be planted in one area, so I'll make it smaller. As long as there is water, these one are going to be very vigorous here. So planting sweet potato vines is as simple as that. If you do it dry, you are going to water your vines later. If you are lucky to wet your beds like I've done mine, that is okay, it's in order, and that is how it's supposed to be done. Hope you're learning. Hope you've learned something new. If it's your first time that you're watching me, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can continue learning together. Bye.